Anthropocene epoch describes the dominion of humankind on planet Earth. It marks a time of anthropogenic evolution and conflict driven by the curiosity of humans and woven into the planet's permanent historical existence. The Anthropocene epoch marks a time of change, and though its origin is often debated, one certainty is that the anthropogenic era has been the most transient and challenging time in Earth's history. Through observation, advancements in digital science, and complex models, we understand our human history better today than ever before. Still, in spite of our innovative approach to data collection, it is challenging to move through our history without questions unanswered. With the rapid evolution of the Earth today, it feels like tomorrow is always too close for comfort, just moments away from the Earth's present, which hangs in the balance between simulating the past and predicting the future. Fragile, like a house of cards, it seems the only constant is that time remains always one step ahead or one step behind, but never simply in step with the present. In theory, the only similarity between humans and the passing of time is change. And knowing what I do about the impatient nature of humans, I am not surprised that we even found a loophole in accelerating our time on the Earth. The perspective of time as linear tried our patience, and overnight we began manipulating the time continuum that the Earth evolved consistently within, by doing away with the Earth's most linear progress forward. Despite our concept of universal time existing in the realm of infinity at some point, we decided to disrupt the perfect order of time on the Earth in order to unmarry time from probability. The coupling of humanity to quantum theory was the pivotal shift we so desperately sought in order to accelerate the Earth's climate cycles. From here, simultaneous causation redefined our concept of one cause being equal to one effect. Instead, we pushed forward to multiply this singular input-output function, producing multiple identical functions that existed as time symmetric. As fossil fuels produce massive amounts of carbon dioxide and terrestrial radiation emits infrared light, carbon dioxide molecules take in the energy from the infrared photons while vibrating through the atmosphere, preventing the thermal energy from leaving the Earth's climate system. Due to the magnitude of carbon dioxide molecules currently in our biosphere from human impact, this process is happening millions upon millions of times simultaneously, as well as over long periods of time, which, as far as humans know, may as well be infinite. The result is, of course, climate change and global warming. The cascade of climate events that follow further reiterate the theory of simultaneous causation stimulating climate change on a global scale. As the cycles continue to ramp up and feed off of one another via energy exchange, other global events are accelerated in their transient states as well. For example, the 6th global mass extinction on Earth is occurring right now, which, again, human impact has greatly increased the severity of. A difference is visible in the day-by-day of this mass extinction by the number of large vertebrate species that are dying off. In past global extinctions, geological archives around the Earth documented the rate of extinction to be higher in small animals and invertebrates, animals that were incapable of broad-scale migration. Instead, this extinction event does not move around a local epicenter that slows the death rate amongst species, and so there is no region where the change in climate is more or less severe, and the impact is more or less great. Early environmental studies were not often conducted by women. Rachel Carson was a marine biologist in the first half of the 19th century who is still known for researching the impact of chemicals on climate and global degradation of ecosystems and the world environment. In addition, her research was pivotal in our understanding of complex ocean processes and coupling like the impact of temperature on marine life. Ocean acidification is another process that human impact is driving the increased rate of. As the Earth's surfaces increase in temperature, greenhouse gases that have been sequestered in ice are being released, while greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels are also increasing in the atmosphere. Concentrations increasing concentrations again reiterate the impact of humans on exacerbating simultaneous causation and climate change. Ocean acidification and intensifying weather occurrences further increase the rate of impact from global climate change on coastal ecosystems. Coastal degradation exposes geography further inland to intense weather, wave action, corrosive acidity and salinity, contaminating local water supplies, and more. Areas that were not meant to be saturated by seawater are suddenly overwhelmed by salt content. Regions with massive coastlines like China will be impacted most intensely by this climate change, through the pressure that will be manifested by coastal erosion. Displaced populations along coasts will threaten non-coastal populations non-discriminately, as millions are forced to move inland without sources of income and in need of food, shelter, clean water, medical aid, educational infrastructure, and hundreds of other basic and not so basic materials and resources. Another consequence of climate change can be seen as global warming alters weather patterns that come with seasonal change. In the U.S., winters have become more mild with warm temperatures and decreased snowfall. The lack of seasonal freezing events and precipitation are hugely concerning for dozens of reasons. However, recently this shift has resulted in a greater number of Lyme disease cases. The warmer weather through the winter encourages the tick populations to grow year-round, reproduce more efficiently, die off less often, and warming temperatures have even served to help maintain larger populations of the tick's preferred food supply. Cases of Lyme disease have doubled since the 1990s, and there is no relief anticipated anytime soon. Other parts of the globe are experiencing the opposite change in weather due to intensity and frequency. Nations like Senegal are seeing extreme fluctuations from storms due to earthquakes and drought, from dehydration of agricultural lands and desiccated crops to flooded agricultural lands overnight. Coastlines are giving way and their groundwater is becoming contaminated, unfit for humans, agriculture, and/or livestock. Civil unrest due to damaged infrastructure and limited access to markets and schools is also a concern. Dehydration and malnutrition drive fear-based resource hoarding and inequity within the nation's workforce. The list grows and grows. As resources continue to wither away, wildlife is suffering alongside us. Deforestation and land development continue to whittle away at wildlife populations and their habitats. Massive declines in biodiversity threaten those populations that are struggling to hang on without hope for their restoration. Endangered and threatened species continue to be slaughtered and sold illegally as international crime rings devour lands and decimate populations. From pangolins to manta rays, the illegal black market trade lines the pockets of criminals and corrupt government officials. As poverty continues to spread, desperation is punctuated by greed, promoting other illegal sales through established channels of underground activity. encouraging the sales of drugs, human trafficking, sales of ammunition and weaponry, and more. And still, the world spins madly on. Vanishing water resources are leading to perhaps the most dangerous wars and crises that humans will die at the hand of in our dominion on Earth. Food supplies and livestock cannot be sustained. Natural vegetation has no chance at recovery. Economic collapse leading to decreased investments in education or sustainable resource use. The spread of famine and the resulting spread of disease. Populations of the elderly will leave behind orphaned children with little concept of how to educate themselves or each other. Governments will crumble before our watchful eyes, and our sanity will be challenged right along with them. It is with the heaviest heart one person could carry that I am plagued by the fact-based notion that perhaps we have truly stumbled into the beginning of the end. But I am merely one person, and though I could share with you my security founded in my steadfast commitment to making my mark, or rather not making one at all, I will simply leave you to consider how you may find your own way through this darkness, and hopefully one day rejoin me in the light of our combined resolutions. Thank you.